wanted to talk about how to create videos for your course, for your students in traditional times or times where we have to be at home digitally teaching and learning. And so I'm going to present to you a number of things today. This is going to be a multi-part video. There's just too much to go into in one video. So I'm trying to keep it to about 10 minutes. And I want to introduce a couple of apps that, whether you're using a desktop, a laptop, or if you're on a mobile device like an iPad or another tablet, how can I create videos that are good quality, that provide me with lots of good resources, that are easy to use, and that are free to use for the most part. So we're going to talk about the laptop first, and I'm on a Mac, so there's a few things that Mac. I know a lot of you guys have Macs too, so I'm using QuickTime. I've got two windows open. I have the window that you see with the Google Slide, and I also have a window open where it's recording my video, right, or my webcam. This is Photo Booth actually, and I've got these windows up on my screen. I'm just recording them. If I go into presenting my presentation like this, then it's going to fill up the entire window and you'll see just what's on the screen. Now QuickTime does screen recordings, and so it will record anything that I place on the screen at any given time in a particular window, or I can record the entire screen at one time. This is one way that you can present your materials to your students, right? If you have a window, a presentation, or you're clicking through a PowerPoint or Google Slide or anything like that, even PDFs, you can make these full screen and you can talk about them and you can kind of go through them. In instances where this is not appropriate, right, you can have other ways where you've got whiteboards and things like that where you can write on if you have a tablet or if you have a stylus that works with your laptop. And we'll get to those things in just a minute. So this is QuickTime, right? So this would be Mac only at this point. But I'm going to show you a few other things that we all have access to. And the first thing I want to talk about is, let's talk about Zoom. We're now in Zoom, and the viewing has changed a little bit. You can see the entire screen. You can also see my face off to the side, and the quality has changed a little bit. One of the negatives about Zoom or a sharing scenario like this, like Google Meet, is that your quality is going to drop a little bit because you are streaming that video a little bit and it's recording it. There's some really great things about it. Number one, you get that instant, or you got the camera view off to the side. If you've got multiple people, it'll post those things in a kind of a stacked format. And so you have a collaboration if you're working with multiple teachers, or even if you have students involved, and you could record your presentation using like a live chat session where you're teaching it to your students live and recording that, and you can have interaction with your students. But you can also do like I'm doing right now. I have no one else in the meeting, so I'm recording just the screen. And so I could click present my presentation, and in this case, you can still see the presentation. You, of course, have all the tools that Google allows you to have, like a pointer tool. Of course, you can just click through your presentation just like you normally would, and you can still see my face off to the side, right? With my other version with QuickTime, I didn't have that option because it just records the front screen. I really do like this option, especially when you have a really good Wi-Fi connection and the quality does tend to go up. If your Wi-Fi is kind of weak or you've got a lot of people on it, I've had experiences where I've had to record things multiple times because the quality was so bad that it started to skip out and it really wasn't a usable video at that point. So this is something you're gonna have to make sure that you've got a good connection before you really trust this kind of over air Wi-Fi connection type video recording. And this is pretty much what Zoom would look like given a scenario, right? So if we kind of go back out, you can see these kinds of changes. You can still see my screen all at once, and you can still see the person recording. Okay, so that's version 2. Version 3, let's go look at, compare that to what Google Meet looks like. Okay, so we're now in Google Meet, which is very similar to in a lot of the features. Quality-wise, it's going to be kind of a toss-up. you're not going to know if it's good or bad, even when you're recording it, and whichever it's Zoom or Google Meet. You're kind of left up to your Wi-Fi and how that can be great, and you're going to get a really nice quality video, or if it's really got a lot of traffic on it and you're getting a lot of low quality. So always watch your videos right after you're doing it, just to make sure that the quality is there. I know that I've done a few where video was probably fine. It wasn't the clearest thing ever, but it didn't really need to be. But the audio was really bad. And so that was my biggest portion, our biggest complaint about it. Another couple of things that are really positive about this, besides the fact that you can see my screen, you can see my, when you present using these kinds of things. Right now, I've selected just to show you one screen, one tab in Chrome. So I can actually manipulate my I can move around on it and do other things. You can still see my face and you can still hear my voice, but the only thing you see is the screen or the tab in Chrome that I've selected that you can see, right? And so that kind of specific to the video recording, and it's not going to go anywhere else. So if I'd recorded my desktop, then it's going to record everything that I want to. And of course, if I'm recording this, I can switch between tabs. I can go to a place and I say, hey, record this tab instead, or I can choose to record a different window at a different time. Let's go ahead and open this presentation just to kind of show you what it looks like. And here again, I'm still using Google Slides. So my control, what I have in terms of what I can use inside this is still the same. Another thing that can benefit from this is having live meetings where your students can ask questions. They can use the chat feature. I would probably have it if I'm teaching it, so we don't have a lot of audio feedback and things like that, but they can still use the chat feature and kind of respond. One thing is really nice, if you have a co-teacher, one of you can be kind of teaching it and talking it, and the other person can be answering the chat. Or maybe you've got a really great student who's really quick, or they learn really fast. You know, you could kind of assign them, or maybe even share that responsibility around to different students. So within Google Meet, this is what you're going to get, right? Of course, it's the same kind of presentation idea that you would have with Zoom, right? There is another option. We could also do this from a tablet, or we can use a Chromebook with a touch screen, or you can use an iPad. I'm going to show you the iPad version because that's what I have access to. And I'm going to talk about a few apps that work really well on the iPad. Some of them, most of them, well, I'm going to talk about really two. There's a ton out there, way too many for me to talk about. I'm going to talk about the one that I use in my class on a daily basis. And that one's called Explain Everything. And then Google has just kind of brought on a whiteboard app that's totally free. You can use your laptop. You can use it on mobile devices called Jamboard. So let's move over to the iPad, and I'm going to show you what those look like. So we are now inside the iPad, and I wanted to show you one of the easiest ways to record video using the iPad and just the native apps that come on it. So I'm going to go up into my control menu, control panel, and you see this red dot. This is the screen recording feature. In order to find that, you're going to have to go to your settings, and so we're going to go to settings, and you're going to go down to Control Center. And over here under Customize Controls, click that. And if you scroll down a little bit, it shows you all the options you have. What you're looking for is the one here that says Screen Recording. Okay, this one here. And click plus, and it'll put it up at the top. So this is going to include that on the apps that you have in Control Center, right? And once you do that, when we go to our Control Center, that little button will be then I can't touch it, or it'll turn the camera off. But you click that, and it gives you a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then it shows you, it records anything on your screen. However, by default, it's going to only take video. If you want to turn the microphone on, hold your finger down on it and do a long press on it, and then you get a couple options to pop up, and you're going to see that you have the microphone, and you can simply turn that on, and it's going to record your audio. So we're going to go into an app called Explain Everything. It looks like this. And now you guys can see me. You can see my screen. Now I'm recording not in the native app, but because I wanted you to see all of the menus and the toolbars and things like that, what the app looks like, just from the teacher perspective. but you can definitely see my face. I've got a video, and I took a screenshot of an online textbook. I brought a problem in, and then I'm going to click the plus symbol, the play button, and what you're going to see here is you're going to see a play of what I wrote down earlier. Right, I'm going to change that, speed it up just a little bit so you can kind of get to see the whole thing. And now, normally I don't have my face in the picture, but just to show you some of the things that are really options to kind of make it comparable to the other one. Now, this is a paid app. It is an iPad. It is an iOS app only at this point, but I think, actually I take that back. I think you can get it for Android and other things like that, and there's a Chromebook app. But this Whiteboard app does a tremendous amount of work, right? It records this video. Now I can record the video and I can actually kind of overdub my voice, or I can just record as I'm writing. I can do it like I am now. I can put the video back in here and I can record it as it's playing over the top of it. I have the control of all the colors and the backgrounds and all of these things like this, right? This is $14 on the App Store, and without a doubt, I would pay double that. Okay, this is one of the best whiteboard apps. You can see here. I'm not going to go through this. I've got a video up that I'll post the links in the comments below. But this is one of the best ways that you can record your iPad. Now, I'm using the screen recording function to record it, but right, and that will record anything you wanted to put on the iPad. You could go in your notes feature and use that. And you could record it all that way. That's a really easy way. And you can export that. It just goes right into your camera roll, and you can send that to your laptop and upload it. Or you can go right from your iPad directly to YouTube or Canvas, however you're going to upload it. The app, the Explain Everything app, records every keystroke. It allows you to do some control. Here again, I've done plenty of videos on this, and I'll link those below. But great app, especially if you're doing any kind of like problems that need to be worked out, like you need a really solid whiteboard app. This does a really, really great job at that. The screen recording app kind of makes everything possible. Whatever you can do on your iPad, you can definitely do on the screen recording. But check out Explain Everything if you're willing to pay the $14, or if you want something just bare bones where it's just kind of, I need a whiteboard app, I want to be able to write on it. Your Notes app is a really great app. It's also free. This comes natively on the iPad. It's here. And so we can go up here, we can click New Note, and this allows me to do all kinds of text. If I have pull my pencil out, if you have a pencil, it automatically knows to do that. You can bring up your pencil controls, and you've got lots and lots of things here that you can use. Even a ruler to draw lines that are straight, with a protractor to get your angles right, things like that, right? So that's a free app. And then there's another app on the App Store. I do not have this app, but it is called Google Jamboard. Okay, Google Jamboard is another whiteboard app. This is relatively new. I don't have a whole lot of experience with this, but a lot of people are having a lot of good things to it. This is something Google has already added. You can go online, you can use it on your laptop, you can do a lot of things with it. And now we're back to where we started, using my laptop with QuickTime. And those are some options that you guys can take and use as you see fit. Now,